This is our final field trip of 2025, and over the past year we've journeyed across Vietnam, working with communities, listening, learning and co-creating. Here in the highlands of Da Nang City, we encountered something extraordinary. Not just heritage craft, but stories of relocation, of resilience and of quiet strength. These communities settled here from the Tay San area almost 50 years ago, and yet the knowledge here is very much alive. We're not here to preserve traditions behind glass. We're here to walk beside people, redefining what tradition means today through creativity, care, and lived practice. In every thread there's a story, but stories don't just live in museums or archives alone. They're carried in our hands, in our rituals, and in the rhythms of all the making. This journey wasn't just about documentation. It's about learning to slow down, sit with others, to listen to the silence, to observe how knowledge is transferred through gesture and repetition. We came here as researchers, but we became guests. We laughed, we struggled, we got muddy, we even got bitten by leeches. But somehow in all of that chaos, we glimpsed something deeper.
What stayed with me most from this trip was the strength of connection among the men we met. Their shared rhythm, humour and quiet expertise. These weren't isolated makers working alone, but a community of artisans creating side by side, shaped by years of working together and growing up together. Their practice is grounded in deep cultural continuity. The techniques they use, the splitting of the bamboo, the binding of the rattan, are not just skills. They're inherited ways of being, developed through repetition, through care and collective memory. And even as their context shifts, they continue to adapt, keeping that knowledge alive and active. I was moved by the way teaching happened, not through formal instruction, but through gesture, through demonstration and shared time. There was no hierarchy, no rush, just attention, generosity and presence. What we witnessed here was not just craft, it was culture in motion, a way of living and learning that resists being reduced to documentation. It reminded me that tradition isn't static. It's something negotiated every day between people, place and purpose.
We visited 3 villages on this field trip: Bho Hoong, Dhroong and Tống Cói villages. They are communities of Cơ Tu people, an indigenous ethnic minorities who live in the mountainous region of central Vietnam. In Bho Hoong, we work with a close-knit work of bamboo and rattan artisans. There were 8 men who shared their knowledge generously. In Dhroong, we were invited to observe beadwork and backstrap weaving. In Tống Cói, we met a 104-year-old man who had made a lot of traditional crafts, even his own coffin. This kind of research is more than just collecting the data. It is about understanding how knowledge lives in people, in practice, and the relationship we build together.
One of the most memorable moments for me was the cultural music demonstration. The Cơ Tu elders invited us to sit with them as they played traditional musical instruments, most of which they had made by hand from bamboo or tree wood. There were bells, flutes, and a special whistle that mimicked the call of local birds. At one point, one of the musicians played, a bird actually called back to him from the trees. It was this beautiful, quiet moment of dialogue between human and forest that really stayed with me.
flying the drone over this region, I was trying to capture the topography, but what I found were memory maps. From above, the forest appears whole, green, really vast, uninterrupted. But once you're on the ground, you begin to sense different layers. Perhaps what's been lost, what still remains, and what continues to grow. These aren't just landscapes, they're cultural terrains. Every path, every planting ridge, every cluster of trees has a story embedded in it. My job was to capture the broader view from a distance, but the drone doesn't show you how much care goes into every corner of this environment. The Kotu speak of guardians of the land, the forest and the water. Their rituals aren't symbolic, they're protective, generational and grounded. I came here to map the land, but I left thinking about how the land maps us.
Weaving has always been a way to tell stories, but here I've noticed something that stayed with me. Many of those old stories aren't being told in the same way anymore. The women still weave with incredible skill, but the materials have changed. They no longer use traditional natural dyed hand-spun fibers. Instead, they weave with polyester threads that they bought in the market. It's striking at first, but I felt a sense of loss. Then I realized that it actually is not disappearance, it's adaptation. They're using what's available to them, what's affordable, and what sells. They're making cloth and clothes, souvenirs, things that they can sell to the tourists, yes, but also things that kept the practice alive in their hands. I got to sit at a backstrap loom for the first time in my life. It's such an elegant tool, just a few pieces of bamboo and a string rolled up and carried with ease so they can work anywhere they like. Yet in the right hands, this tool becomes a portal memory for culture and for identity. Tradition isn't always about preservation. Sometimes it's about transformation, about taking what you know and reshaping it for that moment. And that is what I saw here, a quiet kind of resilience.
This field trip pushed the limits of how adaptable our mobile studio could be. Over the past year, we have refined it to the point where we can now really set it up almost anywhere, any village, any environment. This time we even replaced the light table cover with a raincoat we bought from a local grandma, and it really worked perfectly. But it wasn't just about the technical setup. One of the highlights for me was sharing digitization techniques with the Women's Weaving Cooperative. Watching their curiosity of engagement reminded me that technology is only useful when it's shared, demystified and collaborative. What I really love is that this mobile studio doesn't interrupt the community. It fits right into the rhythm. It's not about extraction, it is really about exchange.
In design study at RMIT, we do real-world project. I have had the chance to design for live briefs and explore practical challenges in class. But this field trip with the Vietnam Design Research Studio was entirely different. It was my first time doing research in a community with a community. Before this, research meant mostly desktop work, reading articles, writing reports, referencing online sources. Here, I saw that research can be alive. It can be listen, adapt, and respond. We work alongside the Kotu people to explore their cultural knowledge might be digitized, not extracted, but documented with care. It showed me that research isn't about the answer, it's about the present, humility, and trust. I learned that research with people, not about people, is where the most meaningful insight emerge.
Cultural resilience doesn't only live in what's preserved, it lives in what continues to evolve in context and through care.